The killing fields of Cambodia. Echoes that still speak. Welcome back to the show. Today, we re-traveling to one of the most haunting places in modern history. The killing fields of Cambodia. This is not a story of ghosts or legends. This is a story of real people, real suffering, and a tragedy that unfolded less than 50 years ago. The shadows of this event still stretch across Cambodia today, and if you walk through the fields yourself, the past doesn't whisper, it speaks. This episode contains sensitive historical content, but it is important, because remembrance is one way we honor those who can no longer speak for themselves. Chapter 1. Cambodia Before the Storm. Before the world heard the name Khmer Rouge, Cambodia was already facing political instability, economic inequality, and conflicts spilling over from the Vietnam War. Bombings along the countryside, fighting between rival factions, and the general exhaustion of the population created fertile ground for radical ideas. Many Cambodians living in rural areas felt neglected by the government and frustrated by decades of corruption and hardship. When a group promised a pure, equal, classless society, some believed it might finally bring peace. But what was coming was not peace. It was one of the most brutal social experiments the world has ever seen. Chapter 2. Year Zero. When the Khmer Rouge seized Phnom Penh on April 17, 1975, they declared it Year Zero. Everything that existed before Kucha, religion, education, family structure, was seen as contaminated. Cities were emptied within days, and millions of people were forced to march into the countryside. Families carried what little they had, unsure where they were going, or if they would ever return home. People who once worked in offices, schools, and businesses were suddenly told they were enemies of the revolution. The Khmer Rouge believed that modern life had poisoned Cambodia, and the only way to fix the nation was to erase it completely and start from nothing. Chapter 3. The ideology that turned neighbors into enemies. The Khmer Rouge believed that Cambodia needed to be purified from the inside. Their ideology claimed that intellectuals, city residents, and anyone with foreign influence were threats to the revolution. Even small things, wearing glasses, speaking another language, or owning a boog, were seen as signs of corruption. Religion was banned, traditions were erased, and families were split apart in the name of creating a perfect agrarian society. Suspicion became a national atmosphere, and even a casual remark or misunderstanding could be interpreted as disloyalty. As fear grew, the regime encouraged citizens to monitor one another, forcing communities into silence and distrust. Neighbors who once shared meals and traditions found themselves divided by paranoia. Accusations required no proof, and confessions were often forced. The Khmer Rouge turned ordinary people into tools of surveillance, creating a society where trust disappeared and survival became a matter of obedience, secrecy, and luck. Chapter 4. Life under the regime. Life became a daily battle for survival. People worked impossibly long hours in the fields, often on an empty stomach. Food was scarce, and even farmers starved. Speaking without permission, resting for too long, or simply looking exhausted could result in harsh punishment. Children were separated from their parents and placed into youth units, trained to follow the regime with unquestioning loyalty. Many grew up never hearing lullabies, never attending school, never learning the warmth of family, only propaganda. Suffering became routine. Silence became safety, and hope became something people protected carefully in their hearts, hidden from everyone else. Chapter 5:21, and the road to the killing fields. Phnom Penh stool slang, better known as S-21, became the center of the Khmer Rouge's security operations. Once a school, it was transformed into a place of interrogation and imprisonment. Many who were sent there never understood why. Some because they were suspected of being spies, and some simply because someone needed to fill a quota. From S-21, trucks transported prisoners to Choeung Ek, one of the many sites later known as the killing fields. The journey was silent. Victims often didn't know where they were going, but they understood what it meant when they arrived. Chapter 6. The Killing Fields. Choeung Ek is one of over 300 mass execution sites across Cambodia. The area looks peaceful today. Trees, open fields, birds chirping. But beneath that calm surface lies a tragedy that is impossible to fully comprehend. Thousands of people arrived here in the dead of night. Many were blindfolded. The regime avoided using bullets, believing they were too expensive. The methods used were cruel, and the scale of the loss was immense. What remains today is a memorial site where visitors walk along marked paths, passing shallow depressions in the ground, reminders of the graves beneath. It is a place of mourning, but also a place of learning, where silence becomes its own form of testimony. Chapter 7. The Fall of the Khmer Rouge. In 1979, the Vietnamese army entered Cambodia, pushing the Khmer Rouge out of Phnom Penh and ending their rule. Survivors emerged from labor camps, forests, and villages, stepping into a world almost unrecognizable. Families searched for one another. Many learned that the people they loved were gone. Cambodia began a slow and painful process of rebuilding, carrying trauma the world still struggles to fully understand. The Killing Fields became not just historical sites, but spaces where grief, memory, and resilience exist side by side. Chapter 8. The Ground That Still Speaks. Even today, the past continues to reveal itself at Choeung Ek. Heavy rains sometimes uncover fragments of clothing, bone, and even teeth. Small, heartbreaking reminders of the lives lost. These discoveries are handled with respect by the memorial staff and reburied properly. They are not displayed as exhibits. Instead, they serve as quiet evidence that the history beneath the soil is still present, still real, and still asking to be remembered. Visitors often describe the experience as surreal, walking through a peaceful field while knowing that the earth beneath their feet holds stories that were never meant to be forgotten. The Killing Fields are not just a memorial, they are a reminder that the past is never as far away as we think. The Killing Fields of Cambodia are a lesson the world cannot afford to ignore. They remind us how fragile societies can become under fear, division, and absolute control. But they also show the strength of the Cambodian people, their resilience, their ability to rebuild, and their determination to preserve the truth. Thank you for listening, and if you ever visit Cambodia, remember that these fields are not just historical sites. They are graves. They are stories. They are warnings. And they deserve our silence, our respect, and our memory.